Okay, good evening everyone, and welcome to Spirit Board Live. I've had a lot of requests regarding spirit boards. Are they safe? How do you use them? Are they evil? Are they satanic? Etc. So I thought the best way to come on and answer all of those and any other questions is to do a live demo using a spirit board. Hello, Bluebell. So do bear with me. I've kind of moved the camera a little bit. And as you can see, we've got the board here. This is the best position that I can find it, because even though it's a little bit further away from the camera, but at least you will be able to see the board in action. Let me just put this camera back up, which is why I'm a little bit later, because I was positioning it in all different ways, shapes and sizes, just to see if I could get it all fitted in, etc. before the live. Hello, Bluebell. Okay, so the screen is a little bit lower, so I'm just going to carry on talking. After the session with the board, I will pop the screen back up in its normal position and then answer any questions. Obviously, when I'm using the board itself, I won't be able to answer questions or see comments. However, Bluebell's one of my moderators. She's here tonight, and she'll be able to explain what's going on to the people that are coming into the room, if that makes sense. So, for those that are just new, let me introduce myself. I'm Lady Moonlight. I'm an Elder Crone traditional witch. I have been using spirit boards, cards, pendulums, crystal balls, etc. for many years, quite safely and with good results. Now, I have never done the spirit board live. I've always done the spirit board with either friends or family or even my partner, but I've never done a spirit board live. Now, spirit are unpredictable. We don't know whether they will come and speak on the board tonight. Hopefully someone from this room, which is our most haunted room, will come onto the board and speak with me tonight. Now, I won't be obviously asking questions for everyone here, because Spirit will only be focusing on the people that are around the board, i.e. myself. But my aim for this session is to show you that when used properly, spirit boards can be really safe. Now, unless you're experienced like myself, I would never ever advise you to use a board yourself, especially if you're not trained to use it properly. Always have at least one other person with you. And that's not just sort of saying, well, the reason for that is you may get some negative spirit activity on a board. That all depends on how you open and close the board. If it's a bit like opening your door, you can decide who comes in your house and who doesn't, right, when you open your door. Same with the board. You choose right before you open the board who comes in and who doesn't. So you choose that only light spirits come in. Now, many of you may have already watched things like the movies with Ouija boards, spirit boards. They're all the same thing, Ouija boards, spirit boards. Any board that has, this is my little board. I have many boards, but many boards like this one. This is an angel board. And as you can see, it has the alphabet from A to Z. And then it also has numbers 1, 2, 0. So that can come handy for spirit given guides or numbers or particular dates, etc. We also have a goodbye. Some boards, I have a few boards that have got hello, but always make sure you get a board that has goodbye. Doesn't matter so much if it's not got hello, because you can open the board with hello, but it must have a goodbye. If you get a board without a goodbye, just it's not advisable. You need a goodbye, and I'll explain why as we go along. We also, at the top, we have a yes and we have a no. It's just easier sometimes for spirit to say yes or no if it puts the panchet to yes or no. Some boards have maybes. Some boards, might just have yes, no, hello, goodbye. All boards are different. This particular board doesn't have hello, but you can just simply say hello. After I've used the board, I will show you my other board that I have, which has the yes, no, hello and goodbye on it. But this one I thought would be great for demonstrations. One, it's a lot lighter than my other one. My other one's quite dark, so you might not be able to see the lettering so much, whereas this one you can clearly see the lettering on this one. So what you also have is the panchet, and while you're using the board, the panchet will go around the board, and as you can see, whatever is displayed in the center of the panchet is the letter, or it might slide along to the no, or it might slide along to the yes, etc. So we need the panchet with it. Now, never ever, when you are finished with a board, never ever stick your panchet on the board and walk away and leave it. One of the biggest mistakes people make is that they do the spirit board, then they leave the panchet on the board and they walk away. Remember, your board, and when you're using the panchet, even though you take the panchet to say goodbye, if you place this on the board and walk away and leave it, you're leaving the door wide open. And when you're away from the board, spirit can quite happily play around with the board in your absence. It can also allow all spirits into your home, right? And basically they'll have a spirit party in your home. You want to avoid that. So what I tend to do is, at the end of every board session, I will ask spirit to take the panchet to goodbye. Now, if they are genuinely good spirits, they will automatically go across the goodbye to say goodbye. Then I would thank the spirit, and then I would take the panchet off the board and place it separately away from the board. Alright? So the board is kept in one place, the panchet is kept in another. You've closed the door. What if then you have just finished your board and you ask your guides or your spirits to close the board by saying goodbye, and they don't? Quite simply, you let spirit know your time with them and the board is finished, and then you yourself must take the panchet to the goodbye and slide it along and clearly say goodbye, and then remove the panchet. Alright? It has happened, not very often, it has happened with me where Spirit just want to, especially if it's family, Spirit don't want to go. They would quite happily sit all night long chatting to you on the board. But that's going to drain your energy as well as theirs. So sometimes, you know, if it, for example, if it was my mum that come through, I would maybe say, look, our time, it's late here, Mum, I need to say goodbye. And 9 out of 10 times she will say goodbye. But then if she wants to just chat even more, I'll just say, look, Mum, I'm going to say goodbye, and I'll just kindly put it to goodbye. And I'll end the board. It's so important that you end the board by either the Spirit crossing it across the goodbye or you taking across the goodbye. Alright? Now I will show you through the demonstration how to set everything up, the board, etc. I'm just going to put my board back on the table. Thank you for the follows. Good evening, Kinga. Good evening. Thank you. Okay, so I want to make sure that everyone that watches this does stay safe with the board. Alright? I sometimes go onto YouTube and I see people on YouTube getting the board. And they'll grab the planchette. They won't even open the board properly. They'll just get the board, they'll get a couple of their friends round, they'll drink some alcohol or whatever. They'll stick the planchette and say, I call the demons, or I call Hobo, or I call Boho, or whatever, right? They call all the demon names. And then they will taunt the Spirit by saying, I dare you to come on. I dare you. Never ever mock Spirit. That is the one advice I can give you. You know, if you're going to get Spirit wound up or angry, teasing them or daring them is not the way to go about using the board, right? Angry Spirit can quite easily trash your house. Simple as. You know, would you allow somebody to come into your home and say, I dare you to do this, or I dare you to do that, or call you all sorts of names, etc.? Of course you wouldn't, right? You would treat your guests with respect. So too, should you always treat the board with respect, right? Because it can get you and whoever else is using that board into a lot of trouble. So treat Spirit as if you would treat your friends and family that come into your home. Treat them with respect. It's not much to ask. Alright? The board is not a toy. It's a communication tool. Just like using a pendulum. Just like using a crystal ball. It is a tool. And it should be treated with the utmost respect. Now I may have to cover my little bird in the background because normally Rio is fine during readings, but I may need to cover him up when I'm doing the board just in case he disturbs Spirit, etc. Plus he's having a little bath time just now, which is fine just now while I'm demonstrating, but not very good when I'm concentrating on the board. So, where was I now? Yeah. Treat the board very much with respect. So what will you need to have a successful Spirit board session? Well, first of all, you will need your board. You will also need your planchette. Right? The board must be cleansed, which I will be doing before we start the board. I will show you how to cleanse it. Always light a candle. And then you, before opening the board, and as you're opening the board, you must make it quite clear to Spirit who you are welcoming in. Do you want good spirits? Do you want bad spirits? Hopefully you want good spirits and not bad spirits. Now, that's the first response. This is one of the reasons that I am doing the spirit board. Give me a second, because I am going to cover Rio up, because he is getting rather... Right, he can be uncovered afterwards. This is one of the reasons why I wanted to come on and do a spirit board demonstration, because a lot of people will say, I'm scared, it'll go wrong, there will be, you know, things flying about the room, there will be glasses smashing, there will be this, that and the next thing. One word to that, Hollywood, right? Hollywood drama. Hollywood has a lot to blame for people being absolutely terrified of spirit boards. It truly has. You just need to watch movies like Ouija, etc., etc., and I can then totally understand why people are terrified of boards. But a board is just very much the same as a pendulum, as a crystal ball. If I was communicating with a crystal ball, I would cleanse the ball first. I would light a candle. I would set my intentions to say that only good spirits may enter while I'm using the board, and only good spirits may give me messages. Whether it's a crystal ball or whether it's a board, both tools do the same thing. It's just that one gives you images through the ball, and the other one quite literally can help you spell out the messages. If you're not used to using the spirit board, might be helpful for somebody to have pen and paper in the room to write down the letters that come on the board, or any messages that come on the board. It would be absolutely advisable for that. I'm quite good at remembering the sequence of letters, and I can spell out the actual words that come on the board. That is not a problem. I've been using boards for many, many years, and I can safely say I haven't had things flying across the room. I haven't had any bad spirits coming in the board. I've never had a negative session on the spirit board. So this is one of the reasons I wanted to come on and do this live, to educate that the spirit board is like any other tool. If used correctly, then you will have many, many years of communicating with spirits, sometimes even your own loved ones. Now, do we have any questions before I start doing the board and showing you how to prepare for the board? No, we don't just, no. The things you will need is your board. You will need the board and planchette. You will also need a candle of some kind. I use a selenite candle holder with a little tea light. So I would normally just take my little lighter and light my candle, like so. So as you can see, I don't know if you can see this, but my candle is lit. So I would light my candle once it takes a hold a little bit. The candle lightens the room and the board, and it lets spirit know to come to the light. That's where they want to come. Californian white sage I never leave home without it, and I never work without it. You can get loose sage in bags, or you can get them in bundles like this. I like the bundles because you can break off pieces of the bundle. I then have a little incense burner, which I can put my sage in. As you can see, there's a few bits there, so I would just take a couple of leaves off the bit that I've broken off, and I would just pop them into the incense burner. Now what Californian white sage does is it cleanses the room, it cleanses the board, and it makes sure that only good spirits and good energy comes into the board. Negative spirits or dark spirits do not like to be anywhere near Californian white sage. The smell puts them off coming anywhere near. So you can use any other sage, but for years I've always used Californian white sage. And that's pretty much all you would need to use. Hello, Odie. Hello. Yep, you can buy one. You can buy boards on. I got my boards on Amazon. You can check Amazon out and get different boards. Let me just get my other board and show you the other board that I have, just to give you an idea. I just move my tambourines out of the way because they will just fly everywhere. Boards without everything else going flying in the process. And of course we get the witch going. Alrighty. Okay, so all you would need is your board, a candle, some Californian white sage, and a safe incense or an abalone shell or something fireproof to put your sage in. Now, thank you for the roses. So, for those that are just joining, the board that I'm going to be using today is the angel board, which is a beautiful angel on there. And on the back there is a beautiful saying on this one with the angel feather, and it says, "I ask thee to guide me most humbly and to be gentle with my replies. And then it says, grant my request so that I may see the truth spelt out with my own eyes." So I'm going to read that again. "I ask thee to guide me most humbly and to be gentle with thy replies. Grant my request so that I may see the truth spelt out with my own eyes." So even the board, this board is lovely because it already has a lovely quotation that you can use if you want to open the board with this one. But I will be showing you my own chant or opening prayer that I do with my boards. The other type of board that I sometimes use for my own use, because I have spirit wolves as a guide is this beautiful wolf board that I have here. So this is my beautiful spirit wolf. Again, with this one you have hello, you have yes in the corner, you have no, and you have goodbye. So this is one of the boards that does have the hello. It also has the yes, it has the no, and it has the goodbye. It has the numbers on the inside around the wolf's head, and it has the letters on the outside. So Spirit would go round the board this side. But it has a beautiful, beautiful wolf on here, and it has a matching panchet on there as well, and the panchet would just go around the board, whichever way Spirit put it. Usually Spirit will go around the board clockwise. It's only negative spirits that would go round a board anti-clockwise. So if you have requested that there is only good spirits come on and the panchet starts to go anti-clockwise, you can just say goodbye, move it straight to goodbye, cleanse the board and start again. Alright? Some people make the mistake, they do not cleanse the board before they start. That is, I can't stress that enough. Cleansing the board is vitally important before you start any use with the board. And as I said, I use Californian white sage because good spirits love it and bad spirits don't like it. Oh, bless. Yeah, there's a lot, there's been a lot of people that are scared, and it's all to do with the movies. And if you go onto YouTube, it just terrifies people even more because you get unexperienced teenagers or people that have no idea what they're doing with the board. They disrespect spirit in every way, shape and form. It just makes me so angry when I watch YouTube. And I'm like screaming at the screen saying, what the heck are you doing? You're just asking for trouble. But this is why I wanted to do this live tonight. I will pop this onto YouTube because I think everyone should realise that the board is safe to use. It's safe for anyone to use. You just need to know the do's and the don'ts. And that's why I really wanted to come on and do this live, to quell the fear that's out there through people misusing the board, Hollywood movies. You just need to watch boards, the Ouija board or the films, etc. And you can easily see why people are terrified of the board. But as I said, I've been using the board for many different boards, the wolf board, the angel board, for many years. I even bought my fiance this kind of board. Let me just take this one. This one always gets kept in the box because I don't use this one, just because I gifted it to my fiance. And he's the one that usually uses this one. This is his board, but I do show it quite often. He's a male witch, so I got him the pentagram with the candle on it. Pentagram, again, the pentagram really, really scares a lot of people because of untruths told about the pentagram. A lot of people will say the pentagram is evil, it's satanic, it's not safe, etc. All of that is very much untrue. Alright? And the ones that claimed that the simple pentagram was satanic was first and foremost the Church of Rome, the very church that burned the witches in the burning times. Right? So anybody that went against the Church of Rome's beliefs and their ways, and used anything bar the crucifix, etc., i.e. they use crucifix for protection, we use the pentagram for protection. And it's not protection against Satan. We don't even believe in Satan or the devil. Again, Satan and the devil are phrases or terms used by Christians, especially the Church of Rome. We don't recognize Satan. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're very, very similar. All spirit boards may change their designs, but this one does not have a yes, no, or goodbye on it. Right, so it doesn't have a hello, yes, no, or goodbye. So on this one, if I was particularly using this one, I would take it right across the pentagram, because the pentagram is protective, and I would just simply say goodbye. And then take the panchet off the board. But the pentagram itself, why does the pentagram have the 5 sides? Top point, spirit or soul, right? Spirit. Reminds us that we work with spirit. We are spirit. When we leave this earth plane and we go into spirit realm, we are all spirit. We are energy, right? Take away our human form, you're left with spirit. So the first point of a pentagram represents spirit. And the other 4 are the elements: earth, air, fire, and water. And the circle around the pentagram reminds us that life is eternal. We are born, we live, we die, we reborn. Life is circular, right? So it is eternal, right? And that's pretty much what the pentagram stands for. Spirit, earth, air, fire, water, and eternal. Eternal life, pretty much. Now, a lot of people will say, well, why do we see some people wear the pentagram the upright way, and why do we see the pentagram reversed, which is often known as the goat because of the goat's ears and the horns? The only difference between an upright pentagram and an upside down pentagram is whether you work with light spirits or dark spirits, right? I'm an elder crone. I can communicate with dark spirits and light spirits because I know how to communicate with them safely. But you have, it's like the modern day Wiccan witches. You have good spirits, you have bad spirits. So a lot of light witches or white witches will wear a pentagram up the way. And a lot of dark spirits will wear the pentagram upside down. And that is the only difference between an upright pentagram and an upside down pentagram. But on this board, as I said, it doesn't have a yes, no. Oh, wait a minute, it does. It has a goodbye here. Oh yeah, it does. This one is different. This one has hello at the top, goodbye, yes, and a no. And then it has the numbers in between. This one's a little bit darker, so it's hard to see. Let me see if I can show you. But there you go. You have the hello. And on this side, you have got the no here. Right, here is the no and the yes and the goodbye. So it does have a yes, no and goodbye on this board. I just didn't see it because it's so dark. I struggle to see dark things, which is why I don't use this board. I find it really difficult to see, but somebody with really, really good eyes, like my partner, can use this board no problem. And then of course it has the numbers. And then of course round here you've got the alphabet, A to Z. So it can go round that way. That is the only difference. How to buy a board that is going to resonate with you. The best advice I can give when purchasing a board of any kind is to have a look. Either if you've got a spiritual shop near you that sells the boards, ask them if you can actually see the board, see the image, etc. If it's on Amazon, take a very close look at the image on the board, the planchette that comes with the board, and it should feel safe to you when you're looking at the board. The two boards that I work with, this one felt very, very much safe, and this is the board that I use if I'm doing demonstrations like tonight, or if I'm doing the spirit board with my partner. So I use this particular board when I'm doing demonstrations, or if I've got other people around me using the board. So I felt that when I saw that one on Amazon, that one was ideal for group work. But sometimes I like solo time with spirit. So when I'm having solo time with spirit, this is the board that I would use. Just because my spirit animal is a wolf. And I think it's is it Linda? It's an LP. I can't remember her name. But if you search wolf boards on Amazon, you will actually get this particular board. It's quite a popular board for wolf lovers, etc. I love it because this wolf has beautiful, beautiful blue eyes. And it was the blue eyes on this beautiful wolf that called me. Also, my spirit animal is a wolf and is identical to this wolf on the board. So this one called me for my personal, and I use this one for my personal self if I'm just using the board with myself and I've not got anybody else around the board. That is my board. So you can have a personal board if you choose, and you can also choose to have a board that you can use with other people. Thank you, Loretta. Oh, I'm glad you... Yeah, the wolf is beautiful. You might find that the wolf has just... That's probably why the first thing you probably said when you saw the wolf board is, oh my God, I've just found my spirit animal. That's exactly the reaction I had when I saw the wolf board. So when you are purchasing your board, make sure that it looks safe for you. Follow your intuition, right? I remember when I went to get the wolf board, the actual box that it came in had the wolf board picture on it. But when I actually got the board home and I opened it up, it was actually a dark board. And it was kind of like 5 o'clock at night before I got home from the store and opened the board. And the first thing that I felt that I needed to do was, first and foremost, before even using it, was put it straight back in the box. Something felt wrong with it. The energy of the board, the image on the board felt wrong to me. Now, to somebody else, the image might have been perfect. But for me, the image on the board just did not feel right. I just did not feel that the board belonged in my home. So the board got put straight back into the box, and the very next day it went back. And I got the right board. So if that ever happens to you and you get a board and it's not the board that you originally wanted, or it's not the board that you that is on the box, etc., always return it. Never say, oh well, I'll just put up with that one, I'll just keep it. No, always return it. If it doesn't feel right, return it. That's the best advice that I can give you. You will know when you see the board that is right for you. A lot of people like the original ones that you see on Ouija board or the Ouija films. Doesn't matter whether it's the original Ouija board or whether it's a spirit board like the ones that I've shown you and like the ones that I'm going to be using tonight. They all have the same thing. Yes, no, hello, goodbye, the alphabet and the numbers and a planchette. They all do exactly the same thing. It's just different designs suit different people. So always, we have little placemats on our table, believe it or not, and they are in the shape of the original Ouija boards, which is crazy. But I lay all my cards on these placemats, and all my different tools get used on those placemats. My fiance bought me them, I think it was for Christmas one year, because he knew that I'd used sort of like dining table set things. Yep, always use your gut. Good evening, Grace. Okay, so I do want to get the board started. I'm going to demonstrate the board exactly how I would set up the board, so that you know how to open the board, how to close the board. Now obviously when I am using the board, both my hands will be on the planchette and I will be concentrating on the board and not the screen. However, Bluebell is there to answer any questions until we finished with the board. Now, we may get something on the board, we might get some messages on the board, we might not, right? I am hoping that we do, because my head is tingling, so there is spirit energy in here tonight. So I'm hoping that spirit will interact with us, but I need to focus on the board. When talking about the planchette and both hands being on the planchette, if you are working alone with the board, always place your two fingers next to your thumb lightly on the planchette. Do not press down on the planchette, because you're going to restrict the planchette from moving. Right? The spirit needs as almost like a butterfly touch, like you're just touching the board and you're touching the planchette and no more. That's the only advice. So I'm kind of like just placing those two fingers. So tonight I'll be using left and right hand with these two fingers and these two fingers. So the thumb will always be tucked under and not touching the planchette. The only two fingers that will be touching the planchette, as you will see, would be these two fingers. If you are using the board with friends and family, one person only must direct the board. You might see 2 or 3 people shouting on YouTube, etc. Speak to me, or speak to me, or speak to me. No. Make sure that if you are doing a group session, that you identify the board owner. The board, whoever owns the board, takes the lead. All right? That board belongs to you solely. You are responsible for that board. Right? Spirit will only connect to you through that board because that's the board that you use yourself or with others. So if it's your board, you take the lead. If it's somebody else's board, they take the lead, and only they should take the lead. Which means only they should be the one talking. Now, the others may say to the lead person on the board, can I ask this, or can you ask this question? And of course the lead person can on their behalf, but it should always be the lead person that communicates with Spirit. So Spirit know exactly who they're dealing with, exactly who they're communicating with. Unless Spirit specifically asks. A lot of the times when I'm on the board with my fiancé, my mum will maybe come through, and then my fiance's dad may come through and say, can I speak to Maux? And then I will let Maux do the lead. But my hand or my fingers will always be on the panchet. So even though I've got Maux, my fiancé, speaking, my hand is still firmly on that panchet, as is his. So that's so important as well. Make sure somebody takes the lead. If working on your own, left and right hand on the panchet and very light butterfly touch. If you've got 2 or more people, the lead person uses their left hand to place 2 fingers on, and everybody else puts 2 fingers, or even 1 finger. They can put the 1 or the 2, it depends how they feel, as long as the lead person has the 2 fingers on the panchet. So the 2 fingers are the most important thing for the panchet. You want to have firm control, which is why the lead always puts the 2 fingers on. Everyone else can choose whether, obviously if you've got 4, it's probably just as advisable to use the 1 finger. Because if you've got 4 people using 2 fingers on the panchet is going to get very crowded, and you may even restrict the movement of the panchet. So if you've got more than 2 people using the panchet, the lead person taking the spirit board, 2 fingers. Everyone else would be the finger next to the thumb, which is the 1 finger. That way you're keeping the panchet as light as you can on the board, so that the board will move, the panchet will move around the board freely. If you have everybody with 2 fingers, it's going to weigh down the panchet, and Spirit are going to find it really difficult to move the panchet. Don't be in a hurry for Spirit to communicate. Sometimes it takes a little while for Spirit to come through and contact with the panchet. So don't think after 2 or 3 minutes, this isn't working, I'm just going to close it and go away. Please be patient. It's like using a pendulum. Be patient with Spirit. Allow them time to come in, is the best advice that I can give on this one. Hello everyone. Thank you for the likes and the shares and the gifts. Thank you so much. All the gifts are appreciated for my time. And of course for the teaching of the board as well. I hope you'll find this helpful, and this will be on my Lady Moonlight YouTube channel. Hopefully YouTube posts the whole thing, but I will share it on the YouTube channel. It may help people to use the spirit board safely and eliminate fear of the board. So I think I've kind of gone through all the safety aspects. Does anyone have any specific questions before we start? And you're going to see me cleansing the board, you're going to see me opening the board and communicating with spirit on the board, and you will also see me closing the board. And then once the board is closed safely, then I can raise my stand a little bit and we can have questions and answers afterwards. How does that sound? Thank you for the bears. Hello Rachel, you've just joined us. So for anyone that's missed all of the information that I've shared beforehand, don't worry, I will be sharing all of the information, the safety aspects of it on my YouTube, either later tonight or tomorrow morning, depending on how quick TikTok releases the video for me to use. So are we all ready to use the board? Now, the way I have got the board, I know it's not ideal, but I can only really, let me see if I can get this a little bit angled a little bit better than I can. I know you won't be able to see the letters so much, but that's pretty much the, let me put it that way a bit, pretty much as close as I can get it, because my camera is on a stand, so it's very difficult for me to actually see, for you to see the board, but this is what the board looks like. And as it goes to each letter, I will be spelling out the letters anyway, if that makes sense. Okay. Hello everyone. Thank you, Grace. Okay, I'm going to set this in place and we'll get started with the board, because I don't want to hold everybody up. Now, as I said, when I'm using the board, I won't be able to see comments, but Bluebell is at hand for answering any questions or welcoming people into the session. So I know this isn't great for you to actually see the board, but honestly, I've tried it on different tables. I could have put it in the other room, but this is the most haunted room in our home, so I never take the boards out of this room. So this is pretty much the best that I can do under the circumstances, so that you folks can see the board in action. But I hope you will, can everyone kind of roughly see what I'm doing? Hopefully you can. Hello everyone. Okay, so let me get started. So first of all, the first thing you will need is your board. I'm using the angel board today, and it has the yes, the no and the goodbye. It also has the ABC 1, 2, 3s on there and the panchet. So the first thing that I did was light a candle. So the candle is important because spirit need light to guide it to where you are. So I always place the candle near the board. Never place the candle on the board, because the only thing that should be on the board is the panchet. So I'm going to lay the candle here, just at the left hand side of the board. That will guide spirit into the board. The next thing is I take my incense. I'm using Californian white sage. I take a few leaves of the sage bundle and I place it into my incense burner. Once it's lit and it starts to smoke, I then put the lid on it so that smoke alarms don't go off, etc. We don't want that happening. I will uncover Rio, and hopefully Rio will behave himself, but we may need to cover him up again. So I'm going to take my lighter. Now my spiritual witch behind me may go off because the lighter is a clicky one, and anything that clicks usually sets Willow, my cackling witch, off, but just ignore Willow. So I need to cleanse the board, and I also need to cleanse the panchet. That is so important. So I'm going to light the sage. So I take a sage leaf and I light the sage, and then you will see it will smoke. I will place it into my censer. The other way that I do it, I've got 2 or 3 leaves in here, so I want to make sure that the censer goes for a little while. So I will light all of the sage in this censer. Now the sage will light to begin with, and then it will smoke, as you can see. So it will flame a little bit before it then goes into smoke. And that's exactly what you want from the sage. You want it to flame first. And as you can see, I've got my sage smoking. So before I cover it, I'm going to take my panchet and I'm going to bless the panchet in love and light. All dark spirit, now take flight and leave. So I'm just running the panchet through the smoke. Then I'm going to take my board and I'm going to do the same with the board. I'm going to run the smoke around the board in a clockwise, and I bless this board in love and light. And I ask all dark spirits to leave and take flight. Only good spirits are welcome here with me, and as I will it, so it mote it be. And then I'm going to light the sage again, because sometimes the sage will go out a little bit. So if it goes out, just relight it. There we go, as you can see. And then gently blow on it and you will see it will smoke. So then I'm going to do the reverse side of the board. And again, I cleanse this board in love and light. All good spirits welcome. Dark spirits now take flight. Only good spirits are welcome here with me. As I so will it, so mote it be. So I'm making sure that all of the board and the panchet are cleansed. I'm then going to waft the smoke around me to protect my energy and my spirit as well. And then of course I'm just going to put the lid onto the incense, and it limits the smoke, and eventually that will go out by itself, but the smoke will go out in all directions and cleanse the room, making the room has already been cleansed previous to using the board. So light your candle, cleanse your pancette, cleanse your board, cleanse yourself, but also cleanse your room before you start, which I've already done, just to save a little bit of time. And then you're pretty much ready to use the board. I'm just going to take a drink before I start because I won't be able to drink while I'm using the board. Excuse my witch. So always have your pancette with a pointer facing away from you. So never have it facing that way if I'm putting it on the board. I want the pointer to be facing away from me so that Spirit can point it in the direction that it wants to go, if that makes sense. Hello everyone and welcome in. So I won't be able to comment till after I've used the board because I will be focusing on the board. But Bluebell will welcome everybody while I'm using the board. So, candle lit, the room is saged, the board is saged, the pancette is saged, and I am cleansed as well. So we are ready to open the board. So this particular board doesn't have a hello, so I'm going to say hello for it. I've already set my intention when I was cleansing the board to say that only good spirit may come in. So I'm going to take my pancette. Because I'm the only person using the board, I'm going to place left and right hand on the pancette very lightly. I always start the pancette in the middle of the board, never on either end. I then go round, I move the pancette manually myself 3 times in a circle around the board. And as I do so, I will say my opening. So I open this board with love and light, and only good spirit are welcome here with me. As I will it, so mote it be. And I'm going to say hello. Now the board is open. The candle is lit. My hands are lightly on the pancette. And I'm going to ask if there's any spirit here with me tonight that would like to communicate with me. Again, please be patient with your board. Don't expect to move it straight away. The pancette will move itself. Never ever move the pancette after you've opened the board. Allow spirit to move it. Let me have a little bit of movement. So I'm going to concentrate now on the board because it is moving very slowly. So we have got somebody with us, which is good. Hello, whoever is here with me tonight. So I'm going to ask the person that is working the pancette, are you a spirit guide? Are you one of my spirit guides? The person that is working the pancette, are you one of my spirit guides? Can you please let me know with the yes or the no whether you are one of my spirit guides? Are you one of my spirit guides? Now my fingers are barely touching this, And the planchette is just moving at its own pace. Okay, I think it's going to go... Alright, so it is no. Thank you. Now once it's answered, bring it back to the centre. Thank you for answering that. Can you tell me, do you belong to this room or this house? Do you belong to this room or this house? Okay, that's a very clear yes. Thank you for letting me know. Can you tell me if you are female? Are you female? Are you a female spirit? The person that's came in, are you female? Okay, so we have a female spirit with us. Thank you. Can you give me a name? Can you tell me your name? What is your name? A. I have the letter A. What is the second letter in your name, please? What is your second letter? M. Y. A-M-Y. Amy. Is Amy your name? Is Amy your name? Yes. Thank you, Amy. Welcome to the board. And you belong to this house. Yes. Can you tell me how old you are? How old were you when you passed into spirit? How old were you when you passed into spirit? How old were you when you passed into spirit? 6. "67. Am I right in thinking you were 67 when you passed into spirit, Amy? Were you 67 when you passed into spirit? Yes, thank you. Do you remember the year that you passed? Can you remember the year that you passed into spirit? What was the year? What was the year that you passed into spirit? 1. 9, 19. 2, 1. 1921. Can you confirm that you passed into spirit in 1921? 1921, was that when you passed? Yes. Are you alone in this room? Are you the only spirit in this room? No. Thank you. Can you tell me how many others are in this room with you, Amy? How many others are in this room with you tonight? How many are here? Five. 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 1. 51. No. Are there 5 spirits and you? Okay, that makes sense. 5 spirits and 1 more, which is you. Thank you. Alright. Out of the 6, including yourself, out of the 5 others that are here, are you the only female here? Are you the only female here in this room? No. Okay. How many other females apart from yourself are here? How many females apart from yourself are here? Out of the 6, including yourself, apart from yourself, out of the 5, how many females are here other than yourself? One. So altogether there are 2 females here and 4 males. Is that correct? Yes. Thank you. Can you tell me, do all of the spirits here belong to this house as it stands today? Do all of the spirits here that belong to this, do they belong to this house as it is today? Do they belong to this house? All the spirits that are here? No. Okay. Was some here before this house was built? Were there some spirits here before this house was built? Yes, thank you. Were you one of the spirits that were here before this house was built? No. Okay, thank you. Do the spirits feel comfortable around myself and my partner being here? Do all of them feel comfortable with myself and my partner being here? N O T, not A L, not all. Okay. How many out of the 6 in this room welcome are not sure of us? How many in this room are not sure about welcoming us? How many out of the 6? N O N, none. Okay. So none of the 6 spirits in this room with me tonight feel threatened by my presence or my partner's presence. Is that correct? Okay, thank you. Apart from the spirits that are in this room, how many others are in other rooms? How many other spirits, not including the 6 here, are in this house? So we have 6 in this house, in this room. How many more other than the 6 are in this room, in this house, sorry? Let me repeat that question because I've probably confused you. Not including yourself or the 5 others in this room. How many other spirits are in this house? How many other spirits are in this house? One. So altogether there are 7 spirits in this house, is that correct? Yes, thank you. Okay. I'm going to go room by room. The 7th spirit that is not sure of us, is that 7th spirit in our living room? The spirit that is not sure of us, is that spirit in the living room? Which room? Or can you spell out the room that the 7th spirit is in? If it's easier to spell out the room that the 7th spirit is in that is not sure about us, please. P A N P A N T. R. Pantry. Okay, so there is a spirit in the pantry. Is that what we would call the kitchen today? We call... Yes, alright. Different words for different rooms. We call it a kitchen, you call it pantry. So this in the pantry or the kitchen, is that correct? Okay. The spirits that are in this room, do they stay in this room only? Do they stay in this room only? No. So they do wander around the house? Yes. Thank you, Amy. Is it still Amy that I am talking to? Yes. Were you married, Amy? Were you married? O N C once. Okay, you were married once. Were you ever divorced? No. Did you pass before your husband? Did you pass over into spirit before your husband? Did you pass into spirit before your husband? Not sure where you want me. Did you pass into spirit before your husband? O C T O October, is that right? October. You passed in October. So did you pass in October 1921? Yes. All right. What year did your husband pass? What year did your husband pass? N O T, not S U, not sure, is that right? Yes. So you're not sure the year that your husband passed? You passed in 1921. Was your husband still alive when you passed? Yes. Okay, that would make sense as to why you don't know or you're not sure of the year that your husband passed. Thank you. Amy, can you tell me, did your husband stay in this house? No. Did you move to this house after your husband? Okay. Amy, if your husband passed after you, did he move away from this house after you passed? I know you passed in this house, but your husband didn't. Did your husband move after you passed away? Okay, that makes sense. Thank you. Are there any messages that you would like to pass on to myself at this time? Are there any messages that you would like to pass on to myself or to my fiancé at this time? Yes. Can you please tell me what your message is? Okay. W. E. We. L. O. V. We love. M. A. L. K. We love Malks. M. U. S. Is it music? Yes. When you say Malk's music, is it just the keyboard? No. is it just his music playlists, or is it both? B-O-T-H, both. Yes, thank you. Is there any particular music that you prefer, year-wise? Is there any music that you prefer year-wise? B A R varied? Yes. Okay. Are there some here that like wartime music? Yes. All right. Okay. Can you tell me the earliest year for music? Now I know that we've got some that like war music, which would have been round about the 1920s, 1940s. Are there any music before that time? Any year music before that time? Is there anyone here that liked music before the 1900s? One. Eight. 18. 9. 1897. Is that the earliest for music? 1897, is that the earliest? Yes. Can you tell me what is the latest year then, in between all of the likes of music styles from everyone? I know there is various ones, but do you know the latest? We've got 1897. What is the... So between 1897 and which year? Just so that myself and Marks know what type of music to play for you all. One. Nine. Six. 1960. So am I right in thinking the types of music that all the spirits in this house like are between 1897 and 1960? Okay, thank you. I will certainly pass that on to Malcolm or Malks. The spirit in the pantry. Or the one spirit that is in the pantry. I sense that this man was not happy, am I correct? Can you tell me anything about the man in the pantry or the man in the kitchen? D. O. E. S. Does. N. O. Does not. S. P. E. A. Does not speak. To. You. Does not speak to us. Okay. Are you the oldest female here? Are you the oldest female in this house? Yes. The other female in this house, is she the young lady that I once spoke to on this board? The lady in this house, the younger lady in this house, is she the one that I've already spoke to? The young girl? Yes. Okay. Is she in this room tonight with us? Is she here with us tonight in this room? No. Okay, thank you. Can you tell me which room she's in? B. E. Bedroom? Yes. Okay, so she's in the bedroom. N. O. Not. A. L. W. A. not always W E L C, not always welcome, yes. In H E R, not always welcome in here. So the young girl that's in the bedroom just now, she's not always welcome in here, is that correct? Yeah. Is that by yourself? She's not welcome by you? No. Is it the men in this room that do not welcome her always in this room? Yes. Okay, thank you. All right. So there are 2 females and 4 men in this house and 1 in the pantry, a gentleman in the pantry, is that right? I just want to get a feel as to how many spirits are in here, because we've never really known how many are in the house. So now we know there are 7. And not all belong to this house, am I correct? Alright, no. Are there any pets in this house? Any pets? Yes. Okay. Can you tell me the pets that are in this house? D. O. Dog. Dog. Is the dog in the living room? I feel that the dog is in the living room. Am I correct in the fact that the dog is in the living room? A. L. L. O. R. O. O. All rooms. So the dog belongs to all rooms. Okay. Is he primarily in the living room? Because I feel he's in the living room a lot. Yeah. Can you tell me what type of dog he was? What kind of dog? What kind of dog belonged to this house? Are you able to tell us what type of dog it was? R E T R retriever. Yes, thank you. So it was a retriever. Did the dog belong to you? No. Okay, thank you. B E F O R before my T I before your time. Yes. Okay. Do any of the four men here wish to speak tonight at this time? N-O not a not at T H I not at this not at this time. Yes. Okay, I respect that. I take it they are letting you take the lead tonight. Yes. Okay. Are they okay with us using the board in here with you all? Are they okay with that? Yes. Do they know that we mean them no harm and that we welcome them? Do they know this? Yes. T H A N K. Thank you. You're welcome. We always love to meet other spirits, and we mean you no harm, and hope that you are all happy with us being here, apart from the gentleman in the pantry. Yes. Okay. Did something bad happen to the man in the pantry that he doesn't talk? I feel he is angry, am I right? There is tension in the kitchen or the pantry. I often feel tension in the kitchen or the pantry. Is this the gentleman? I feel there's a lot of anger with this gentleman in the pantry. Am I correct? Yes. Is this gentleman angry with us? No. Okay. Can I ask, the gentleman in the kitchen that is not angry with us, is this gentleman in the kitchen part of this house? Yes. Okay. The gentleman in the kitchen, is he angry with the man down the drive? Is it something to do with the man down the drive? The man that is angry in the kitchen, is it something to do with the man down the drive? Yes. Okay. That would maybe make sense. The man in the kitchen, was that the same man that had a fall on the driveway? We were told there is a man belonged to this house, and I've seen him with a face injury. Is this the man that's in the kitchen sometimes? The one with the face injury? Yes. Thank you. I don't want to keep you too long, but I do appreciate the time that you have spent with myself and the others watching tonight. The man that's in the kitchen that has anger issues, was he forced to leave this house against his will? Did he leave this house against his will? N E E need T to A need to ask H I need to ask him T H I need to ask him this. W O U yourself. Yes. So I need to ask him myself that. Okay. I may attempt that at some point to try and communicate with him. And hopefully he can communicate with us. N A may S P E may speak to may speak to you. But he won't, has he ever spoke to you or the other spirits in the house? Has he spoke to you or the other spirits in the house? No, not you, not much. Okay. Is there anything else that you would like to say? No. Is there anyone else here that would like to communicate with me at this time? Is there anyone here within this house or any of my guides or spirits wish to speak at this time? No. Well, I would like to thank you for your time tonight and for sharing this information with myself and those that are watching tonight. It is very much appreciated. And if it's okay with you, we will continue to use the board and play music for you. Yes. And thank you for welcoming both myself and Free Spirit Moon or Malks into your home. No P R O no problem. Yes. Thank you so much for your time and all the effort you've put into this board. I know you must be tiring now. Can I ask you please to close the board for us? Will you please close the board for us and end the session? Goodbye and bright blessings. Now, as it came to goodbye, I slide the pancetta off the board and then I place the pancetta away from the board and the board is closed. What I tend to do, just to make sure that the board is closed at this time, I usually do a Reiki power symbol just to close the board and protect it. I will then light my sage once more. We still have a little bit of sage left in my censer, which may very well light enough for me just to, yep, we do. So we have a little bit of Californian sage left, and I'm just going to take the board and I'm going to cleanse it. So I'm going to cleanse the board just to take any energy that may be left on the board away, and that finalizes and closes the board. As you can see, throughout the whole session, I'm just going to lay the board down. And what I'm going to do, because the board is closed, I'm going to lay the sensor on the board and allow it to just continually cleanse that board. And I'm just going to blow the candle out at this time to indicate that the session has ended with the board. Now give me a second, because I'm going to adjust my camera so that I can put the camera up a little bit and be able to answer any questions that anyone may have at this time regarding the board. So give me a little second, just till I'm just going to take this off my stand, just till I adjust the stand height a little bit. There we go. Alrighty. Just because I had the stand a little bit lower than I normally would have it. So I just want to make sure. Let me just get my cables all untangled here. There we are. Just want to make sure that we are back. There we are. I'm a little bit higher now. I can actually see all of your comments. Let me just get my charger. I don't want the camera dying out on us. Okay. Hello everyone. Have I got this the right way? I hope. Yes, I have. Okay. Yeah. Okay, I've got my charger back in, so we shouldn't run out of battery anytime soon. Alrighty. So I don't know, obviously you wouldn't have got a clear, as I would have liked, view of the board. But how did everyone find that? And are they less afraid of spirit boards since the demonstration than they were before the demonstration? Hello, Kai. Okay, Loretta thought it was cool. Unfortunately, I haven't got my cards or anything available tonight because it was a spirit board session tonight. But I am back tomorrow evening. With it being Thursday, it is free card reading night tomorrow night. Kinga found it interesting. All right, Loretta wasn't afraid. Oh, Lulu could pick up on two spirits. That's interesting. We had a lady here not so long ago. One of our friends was here getting a reading in this room, and she actually saw a gentleman sitting opposite to where I'm sitting just now. Oh, thank you, Tracy. It was nice watching. Yeah, it's the first time I've used the spirit board while being on a live. So I wasn't really sure whether our house spirits would be cooperative. But I have found that when I'm using the board either myself or with Spirit Moon, they have been forthcoming in speaking on the board. Ah, you're from Scotland. Where about in Scotland are you? We are also in Scotland. Thank you for the daisies. And yes, please do. We're also in Fife. So you're in the same county as what we are. We're also in Fife as well. We have Irish in here as well. My great grandmother was Irish. She was actually exiled from Ireland for marrying against her religion, believe it or not. But she was an Irish gypsy witch. It is very much a small world, Sean. We're actually in a little village called Kelty. Ah, well, I'm not Irish myself. Both my parents were Scotland. They were both Scottish. They were born in Scotland. And my mum's mum was my great-grandmother's daughter-in-law. Hello, Joe. You've just missed our spirit board session. Ah, lovely to meet another medium. Yeah, both myself and Free Spirit Moon, we are both witches. He's a male witch, I'm a female witch, but we love connecting with spirit. We love using the spirit board, hence why we did, I did a spirit board demonstration this evening. Now, for those that missed the spirit board demonstration, providing YouTube allow me to upload the whole video this time, I will try and get this tutorial on my Lady Moonlight YouTube channel. Probably tomorrow morning, by the time TikTok loads this video and allows me to share it onto my tablet, and then hopefully I can share the whole thing onto YouTube. But lately YouTube has been a little bit funny about sharing videos. It's almost like if I do a 5-hour video, it will only stream 3 hours of it and it misses out the last 2. So I don't mind if it cuts the last hour or 2 out of this video, as long as it has the spirit board session and the tutorial after it would be great. Ah, Joe saw some of it. Joe, have you ever used a spirit board yourself? Oh, fantastic. So, did you find this tutorial helpful as far as helping you with your spirit board, or do you do it a totally different way? Very similar, yeah. So you always open the board and close it and cleanse it before and after, I'm assuming. It just baffles me how so many young ones on YouTube take a spirit board onto YouTube for entertainment purposes and start really intimidating spirit or calling them out or daring them to do this or daring them to do that. And then they wonder why everything goes wrong with the board. And as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, you wouldn't invite people into your home, i.e. visitors into your home, and taunt them or ridicule them or mock them. So, you know, why would you do it with a spirit board? You're welcoming spirit into your home, into your space. And, you know, if you're going to welcome them into your space and then you're going to mock them, it's no wonder then that people often say, well, glass is, you know, especially those that use glass with, the ones that don't use sort of boards like this, but they use the glass with the paper letters and stuff. And then they wonder why the glass smashes onto the floor or things get moved. You know, certainly if I was a spirit and I was summoned onto a board and then I was mocked, I think I would throw a few glasses around as well. So one of the biggest advice that I can give when using a board, please, whatever you do, treat the board and the spirit that comes through the board with the utmost respect. Exactly, Lulu. Hello, Kelly. You just missed us using the spirit board, but hopefully you'll be able to watch it back on YouTube. Exactly, Lulu. Treat them as you would your own family. You know, we've always known that there is more than one spirit in this house when we moved into it. And I've always known that in the kitchen, or as they called it on the board, in the pantry, there is an angry presence. That's the best way I can describe it. A lot of the time when I'm cooking in the kitchen, I can go in, I can be in a great mood. And then if I spend a lot of time in the kitchen, maybe cooking or whatever, I can suddenly feel myself getting really angry, really frustrated. You know, I've had plates fly off the draining board or glasses or cups falling out of the cupboard when I've been opening the cupboard and stuff. And I've often mentioned it to Spirit Moon, and I'll say, you know, there's something not very well, or someone not very welcoming in the kitchen. So it was good to know that that was pretty much confirmed on the board tonight, because by the sounds of what the board came out with tonight, I don't think this gentleman is angry at myself or Free Spirit Moon, or indeed any of the other spirits in this house. I do feel that there is an issue with this gentleman, and we do have a neighbour who stays at the bottom of our garden. He has a house right at the bottom of our garden, which is down the drive, and he is very, let's just say, very destructive. He's property, you know, he likes to own everybody's property or control what everybody does on their own. He's kind of a nuisance neighbour, let's just say that. And we've heard different kind of mixy-mashy stories from our neighbours round about him. But it's nice to know that there is a link between the gentleman in the pantry, or I haven't heard that word for a long time. I believe it's an old, probably pre-war term for kitchen. Yeah, exactly, Lulu. You're spot on there. Land dispute. Absolutely. Spot on. Because the gentleman that they were talking about on the board, yeah, he's still very much land dispute to this day. So we're not we can totally understand the gentleman in the pantry, and I'm hoping that as time goes on I can maybe set up a spirit board in the pantry or in the kitchen at some point and try my best to communicate with this gentleman, and just to see if we can kind of heal his anger, I think is the best way. Because I just feel I feel this gentleman was somehow forced from his home. Yeah. I'm always about healing spirit. There is nothing worse than a spirit that is kind of stuck, thinking that nobody understood what he was going through. But I think it's a starting point. It really is a starting point for myself and Free Spirit Moon, because if we are going through similar things that what he did, you know, we have been here 3 years now, and this guy very much in the past has pretty much run all the previous tenants out, so that he can then, I feel this man lives in an imaginary world of his own, and he believes our garden is his garden, even though he has a garden round the other side. He likes to, very much control everybody else's bit of land. If he could control everybody's garden, he would. He's that kind of person. And he doesn't just try and control what we do on our land. He's got boundary issues with other neighbours around here as well. So I feel that tonight's session, for myself personally as well as everybody watching here, is kind of gave me a little bit of a leeway, a sort of gateway or a doorway that I can actually maybe try and communicate with this gentleman that is in our kitchen, and it might in the long run prevent him throwing plates around the place. Yeah, well, the whole house has been smudged, but yeah, I just feel he has a lot of anger issues, and I can actually understand that, because this gentleman that likes to control boundaries, he's enough to try the patience of a saint, let me tell you. But yeah, definitely. And it isn't interesting, Lulu, that you picked up on that, while I was on the board, you picked up on, especially when we were talking about the man in the kitchen or in the pantry, that you picked up on this a boundary issue. And I feel it's when we first moved into this property, our first night here, when I was meditating, I always meditate before, and I always ground before I go to bed at night or before I sleep at night. And I always meditate. And the first thing that I saw was this elderly gentleman, and it was almost like one side of his face was all scarred and really badly damaged. At first I thought maybe a stroke, but the more that he appeared, the more I could see it was almost like this gentleman had been pushed. And when I actually spoke to one of our neighbours, we actually realised that the gentleman, there was a gentleman that stayed here. He was elderly, I think he was in his 90s. And the lady said he used to do all his gardening, very proud of his garden, and one day he fell on the driveway and damaged all his face, fell right onto his face, and his face, he gave himself a sore one. And I asked what happened to him after that, and she said his son came and took him away from the house. Said he couldn't live there, and he had to go and stay with his son so that his son could look after him. Obviously he's returned to the house after he passed, but putting all it's almost like putting a jigsaw piece together, you know, gathering information from neighbours that have been here well longer than what we have, and previous tenants, etc. And of course the information that we got on the board tonight as well, and just piecing pieces together to actually get a complete picture. Yeah. Thank you for the roses and the gifts, everyone. (1882). That's really interesting, because I think was one of the dates on the board. I should have actually wrote down what I remembered. I will play it back one day. But I think one of the dates, one of the earliest dates that they gave us when we were talking about music was 1892. So that would have been 10 years, no, 1893 was it? No, 92. 1892. So if you're getting 1882, that was 10 years before that as well, which is interesting. Oh, great. Yeah, 1880. Now, what was it? 1897. Thank you, Bluebell. So it was 1897, then and Lulu got an 1882 in her head when she was getting, when we were on Spirit Board, which is really interesting that Lulu also picked up land dispute. Yeah. You know, even though things were getting spelt out on the board, I was also getting so many numbers in my head. I was getting, I'm sure there was 1921 was another date that I remember on the board, which is really interesting. and the music ranged from 1897 right through to the 1960s, which is really interesting. What we used to do when we were in the living room or in the lounge, we would make up a playlist of pre-war, war years and old songs, etc., and we would play them in here. And I think that's probably what the spirits in this house were saying. They do love music, and they love the fact that the house is filled with music. So I will certainly be passing that on to Free Spirit Moon as well, because I play music, Free Spirit Moon plays keyboards. We both sing, we have karaoke nights now and again. I sometimes do karaoke on TikTok as well. So, but we're always using the spirit board. We're using crystal balls to communicate. We have got some spirit meters that we use a lot around the house. And sometimes at night we hear little things. We've heard a dog bowl getting thrown across the kitchen floor in the middle of the night. It's actually woke me up, and I'm thinking, you know how you get the little metal dog bowls, and it's almost like the dog chucking, or somebody chucking a dog bowl. Yeah. Isn't it interesting? I'm glad Lulu was taking notes as well, because normally if it's myself or Free Spirit Moon, or we've got 2 or 3 people on the board, we usually get one person to write things down. But I do try and remember as much detail as I can when I'm using the board. Hence why I was saying, if anyone was asking questions while I was using the board, I wouldn't have seen the questions because I was focusing more on the board. But there is a young girl in this house as well, and we've communicated with her before. And I feel that she's kind of feels like she's the black sheep of all the spirits in this house. She was only, I feel she was only a teenager, if I remember rightly. It was a long time ago since we connected with her on the board, but I believe she died in her teens. She got sick or something, and I believe she died in her teens, but she's with gentlemen in this room that were of an age where children or young ladies were seen but not heard. So I feel that it's almost like if she comes in here, the room goes quiet, and she's not. I feel she just doesn't feel like she can have her say, if that makes sense. So there's a kind of mismatch of personalities in this house, and this is why we love it. But yeah, I'm so glad Lulu was able to pick up on the land dispute, because one thing that we were determined was that the gentleman down the drive was not going to drive us out of our home like previous tenants. So yeah, it's been we've had our ups and downs with him. Very much a mixture of energies. We also have an amputee in here as well. I believe at some point, I think this house may have been used as a base for the injured during World War I or II, or maybe both. But I feel that not far from where we stay, there is an old army barracks. It's no longer a barracks now, it's kind of closed down. When I first moved here, It was just an empty shell, but it used to be the old barracks. And we had, or should I say, Free Spirit Moon had communicated with this gentleman, and he was still in the war, to the point where he didn't even know who won the war. So it's really interesting. So did you find the session helpful? Did you learn anything new? And I hope that the session has let you see that using a spirit board isn't scary, and it is safe for anyone to use, providing you know how to cleanse it, to open it, and to close it correctly. And always keep your planchette separate from your board when storing your board away as well. So does anyone have any questions before we end tonight's live? I don't want to have the live going on too long, because I am hoping, fingers crossed, that we can get this whole live onto my Lady Moonlight YouTube channel. I'm glad you found it helpful. So given the information, Bluebell, would you be inspired to use a board yourself? And also, would this be something that you would like me to do again in the future? Would you like more spirit boards in the future? After tonight, yeah. This is what I was hoping with the tutorial, that I would wipe away all this myth that scary, you know, that spirit boards are scary, that they are dangerous, that they are demonic, that they are unsafe. As I said, I have been using spirit boards for over, must be 20 odd year now. And I've never ran into any trouble using the board. I've always found them very safe to use. But again, it's because I respect the board. I respect the spirit that come through the board. I set my intentions right from the start that only good spirits may come in to the board. Please make sure that you are setting that intention right from the start. All right, it's like opening your front door and you've got good people and bad people standing at your front door. Would you allow all of that to come into your room? Of course not, right? Into your space? Of course not. You would say, okay, the good people can come in, the bad people, thanks for visiting, but no thanks, right? It's the same with your board. You choose who you want in your home. You choose who can communicate with you through the board. You know, you have total control over that board. And as long as you have one person that is the lead on that board, and you're not trying to get too many energies controlling the board, then you're going to have a really, really good session with your board. So Bluebell and Lulu would definitely... Yep, there's a few that says yes, they would like that again. Obviously, I don't want to do it too often because I don't want to overstay my welcome with our house spirits. I do like them to have their own time or their own space. But yeah, from time to time, I will do another spirit board session with you all. That's not a problem. And I will share this video. Thank you for the gifts, everyone. I will share this video onto the Lady Moonlight YouTube channel. For those that want to follow on social media, I now have a Facebook page as well. It's a public page. So if you go to my bio here on TikTok, there is a website. Click on that website, and if you scroll to the left, one page to the left, and you scroll down to the bottom of that second page, you'll find all my social media links. So you'll find all my Facebook groups, my Facebook page, the Hippie Gypsy, which is now on Twitter and Instagram, and I'm also on YouTube under the Mystic Witch and Lady Moonlight. So all the links, there are direct links on that website. You just need to click on the one that you want to go to, and it takes you straight there. If you go to my profile, folks, and there is not a website link, you've maybe stumbled across a fake account. All right. There's two distinct ways to know, because a lot of people try and copy my account. I've had to block 5 fake accounts. I'm always looking for the fake accounts. I'm always doing variations of Lady Moonlight, the Mystic Witch, which was my old account, and the Hippie Gypsy Witch as well. And I'm always searching those names, and I'm always catching out the fake accounts, and I'm always blocking them, and I will always tell my followers about the fake accounts. So how do you know it's the right Lady Moonlight and it's the right Hippie Gypsy Witch on TikTok? First and foremost, I have got over 9,700 followers here on TikTok. It's probably gone up a little bit since I've gone live, because it always rises every time I go live. But the last time I looked, I think it was 9,750 odds. So if it's got anything less than 9,500 followers, it's a fake account. Hello everyone. Come on in. So look for the numbers of followers. It should read 9,000, well, over 9,700. Also, check my bio. On my bio, there should be Lady Moonlight at the top, then my profile picture, and then under my profile picture, it should have the Hippie Gypsy Witch. Underneath that, there should be a website that you can click on, and it takes you to my website. If it does not have the website link, it's a fake account. Right? So my account will always have that website link attached to it. You need at least 1,000 followers to be able to put a website link on TikTok. So a lot of fake accounts are a lot less than 1,000 followers by the time I find them. So it's easy to block them, to report them, and they don't get up to 1,000. So, and even if they did, they can't copy. They can maybe copy a few photos or videos from my TikTok by sharing it, etc., or downloading it, but they cannot copy my website link. They would need my login details, they would need my passwords, etc., and I'm continually changing my passwords on that website. So I keep my website there. It's security for this account that I've got on TikTok. I will never ever jump in your DM box and ask you for readings. I don't have to. I come on here most nights, Bluebell will tell you, I come on here most nights and do readings. Some of them are free, some of them are gift readings. So I really do not need to go into somebody's DM box and say, would you like a reading? I will never ask for cash app. I will never ask for money for readings. If people want to book a private reading with me, they usually find me and they usually message me, not the other way around. It's the way I've always worked. I don't like people jumping into my DM box and saying, you know, they always start the same way, don't they? Hello, beloved. I read your profile and I believe that you need this message. I have something important to tell you. Can you please give me your details or give me your WhatsApp or whatever so that I can give you a reading? It always starts that way, right? And it usually has Lady Moonlight, or they usually copy my name, right? We even get, Bluebell will tell you, we even get people coming into my live and saying, you know, scrolling down everybody that they see typing and saying, message me for a reading, message me for a reading. So you get them everywhere, but there are a lot of people on TikTok that do take advantage of good readers and see a quick buck to be made. So every time I go live, I do tend to let you know how you can tell it is the genuine Lady Moonlight or the hippie Gypsy Witch. Always look for that website. The website is the biggest giveaway ever. If it's not got a clickable website on my bio here on TikTok, it's not me. All right? There is only one account, and that's this one. I will never have a backup account. I think backup accounts are very confusing. When, you know, I've had a lot of people that I follow here on TikTok and they'll say, oh, this is my backup account. And then I'll get another one. Oh, this is my backup account. And they've got 2 or 3 different backup accounts. Personally, myself, I find backup accounts very confusing. Especially on TikTok where there are a lot of fake accounts out there. So when I first joined TikTok, I made it my mission that I was never ever going to have a backup account. It takes me to use one account, let alone an account and a backup account. So this is the one and only account that I will ever have. Thank you for the gifts, everyone. Hello, everyone. Okay, so if nobody has any other questions about the spirit board, I'm going to close off tonight. I'm going to do a card of the day for tomorrow. I haven't done a couple of cards of the day for the last 2 days because Monday and Tuesday was Free Spirit Moon's birthday, as you will have all have seen, and I spoiled him rotten. I'd also like to give a huge shout out to absolutely everyone, including Bluebell, and Colette and everyone else that left, and Joe Boxer for leaving wonderful birthday messages for Free Spirit Moon, my fiance, on his birthday. He had no idea we were all going to do that, but he was just overwhelmed with all your birthday wishes. So thank you to Kinga, to Bluebell, to Joe Boxer, I think was another one, Loretta. There are so many people. Rachel as well. Rachel left him a wonderful message as well. I can't thank you all for taking the time and following Free Spirit Moon and giving him those birthday messages. I'm still receiving birthday messages from the posts that I have got on my TikTok bio here. We are trying to get him to 1,000 followers. So check him out on my videos, on his birthday videos, and go along and give Free Spirit Moon a shout out and give him a follow. Share those videos. Let's see if we can get him up to 1,000 followers as well, because he's a great guy. He saved me from 30 years of abuse, literally saved my life. If I hadn't come across him, I wouldn't be alive today. So we've been together 9 years, and they've been 9 of the happiest years of my life. So we wanted to give him a huge surprise for his birthday, and thanks to everyone that contributed to those birthday wishes. We certainly did that. Hello, Tina. Do you know, yep, the 1st of May was his birthday. He was a maybe. You know, follow your lady's intuition, right? I always say the one person that will be able to tell if a man is lying about their one and only, or if they're faithful or whatever, is the person that's with that gentleman, right? Ask him to look you in the eye and tell you that you are his one and only. If he cannot sustain eye-to-eye contact with you and answer that question, you've pretty much got your answer. And I often say, if you have to ask whether your better half is faithful, or whether he is being honest with you, you've pretty much answered your own question, because your woman's intuition has pretty much told you the answer. If somebody was to ask me, is Free Spirit Moon true and faithful to you? Without any hesitation, I would say yes, 1000%. Right? Now, if it had been my ex and they'd asked, can you tell me whether you feel that your ex is 1000% faithful? And I've been asked that many times, and I will say 1000% no. He was never faithful from day one. Even on our wedding night, he was unfaithful. So a woman's intuition is the best lie detector on this planet, right? If your gut says there is something wrong with the relationship that you're in, trust it. If your gut tells you that there is everything right with a relationship, trust it. That's the best advice I can give. Do you know, dating sites are, they're okay, but be wary on dating sites, right? A lot of people on, don't get me wrong, I've heard of people joining dating sites and their relationships has turned out absolutely fantastic. But it's like anything else on social media, right? I could put a photo of Dolly Parton lookalike on my profile and say, hi, my name's Dolly, right? Or I could put a younger photo of myself, right? Who's to know whether that photo is genuine or not? The good thing about me is I put my real profile photo on all of my TikToks and my Facebook and Twitter, but I'm also going live as well, so it would be kind of pointless me putting a fake photo on social media and then coming live, because people would say, wait a minute, something not right there, right? But it just goes to show, let's, for example, we were speaking about fake accounts earlier on. I've already found 5 fake Lady Moonlight Hippie Gypsy Witch accounts, or the Mystic Witch, which was my original account that kept on getting copied left, right and centre, and I changed it to the Hippie Gypsy Witch. But I already found 5, all with my photo on it, right? So it just goes to show, how easy it is to be misled on a dating site. So be very, very, be very, very wary, folks, with dating sites. Unless that person is live and you can see them in person, then, not everything is what it seems to be on social media. So definitely be very, very cautious on dating sites. I always say you can't beat the old-fashioned way of meeting somebody, i.e. going out with friends and meeting somebody in the flesh. Because what you see is what you get, right? But on online dating, I've never done online dating in my life, and I don't intend to. I would rather, when I first met Free Spirit Moon, it was, yes, I saw his photo and a few videos on his profile on Facebook at the time, but I wanted to meet him in person as well and get to know the person in person rather than online. And I just think there's no substitute for meeting somebody in the flesh and actually reading their aura or reading their energies in person. So I hope that helps. Okay, so with that said, I'm going to wish everyone a wonderful Wednesday. I'm going to go off and do card of the day. And then hopefully, if TikTok speeds up the processing of this video, I can get it put onto the Lady Moonlight YouTube channel. So again, that link is on my website. So if you want to see my YouTube, I have 2 YouTube channels. I've got the Mystic Witch, and I've also got the Lady Moonlight channel. The Mystic Witch was my business name before I changed it to the Hippie Gypsy Witch when I affiliated or joined the Hippie Limited crystal shop, which is on my website. I absolutely love, if you've never seen Hippie Limited products, check them out on my website. They do amazing, beautiful, beautiful, genuine crystals, and they are all fair trade. I actually had some crystals next to the spirit board. I had the lapazuli to help with speech on the board, and I had the opal light apple, which is a beautiful, beautiful, these are all hippie crystals. And of course, for protection purposes, and especially spiritual protection, etc., I don't think you can go very far wrong with labradorite. It has, it's one of the most beautiful crystals because of its flashes. You can see it looks grey in ordinary light, but if you really, really look, you'll find the flashes. This one has flashes on both sides. So it has kind of a different pattern, there we go, it has a different pattern flash on the other side. But labradorite is beautiful, it's very protective, it will protect your aura and it will protect your energy. So when I'm doing spiritual work like readings, etc., I think it has a few flashes on the side. Let me see if I can find some flashes on the side. Yeah, we've got a silver flash there. A little bit of a silver flash going on there. I don't think this, I think, oh, we've got a little bit of blue in there. If you can see that, a little tiny bit. Let's try the other little side. Let's see what we can get on this side. Got some silvers in there. A couple of flashes of blue coming through there as well. It is a beautiful, beautiful crystal. I love labradorite. I have three pieces of labradorite that I use a lot, and I've actually got a labradorite fairy on my altar behind Rio, my little parrot there, as well. Good night, beautiful Kinga. Okay, so have a great evening. I will upload this spirit board session onto my Lady Moonlight YouTube channel. So do subscribe to that channel, because I'm going to be adding the previous Wednesday. Last Wednesday we did a meditation night. I still haven't been able to get on and upload that to YouTube, so I might do both of them today and tomorrow. I'll put the meditation one on the Lady Moonlight channel, and I'll also put the spirit board session that we did tonight. So if you've missed any of the demonstration tonight with the spirit board, do check it out on the Lady Moonlight YouTube channel. It should be up by tomorrow afternoon. Good night, Loretta. Thank you everyone for the follows and the gifts. So good night, Kinga. Good night, Loretta. Good night, Lulu. Bluebell, thank you for all that you do behind the scenes. Rachel as well. I don't know if Rachel is still with us. I know Rachel was there earlier. Joe Boxer, good night. Franny B, mwah, lovely to see you. Thank you for all the follows, everyone. I will, oh, I love that. Good night. Thank you so much for the good night as well. Thank you for all the follows, for all the shares, for all the gifts, and all the likes, of course. Now, I am back tomorrow evening. It is free readings night for all tomorrow night, folks. Thursday night is free readings for all. So do join me tomorrow night, round about 10 p.m. UK time, which is 4 p.m.-ish CST time, 3 p.m. USA time. And we will do some free readings. If you're a subscriber, you automatically go onto the readings list every time that I'm live. If you're not a subscriber, we just pick 5 or 6 names at random. But subscribers always get on the readings list. So it's kind of like skipping the queue, as it were. So I look forward to seeing everybody tomorrow for some free readings. Till then, love and bright blessings. Thank you everyone for joining me tonight. I'm going to be writing down some information that I got from the board tonight, because it's going to help us to get to know our house spirits a little bit better. Take care everyone, and I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow night. Love and bright blessings to everyone. Good night, Bluebell. Good night, Loretta. Good night, Elizabeth E. Good night, Franny B. Good night, Joe. Good night, Loretta. Good night, everyone. Love and bright blessings to everyone. See you all tomorrow.